Marie, I have an attitude of gratitude. Well, one day, Eve and God were walking through the Garden of Eden. And God said, Eve, you seem a little bit quiet this morning. Is everything okay? And Eve said, oh, yes, I live in a beautiful garden. I'm surrounded by pretty trees and flowers and all the birds singing and the animals frolicking. I have every kind of yummy organic fruit and vegetable to eat. It really is paradise. But I have to admit, there's a strange feeling inside of me. God says, I know what that is. That's loneliness, and I can fix that. You can, Eve said. God said, yes, I'll make for you a man. A man, Eve said? What's that? Well, he'll be very muscular and able to lift heavy objects. Oh, that would be wonderful, Eve said. And he'll like to fix things and build things. Oh, that would be great, Eve said. He will have a tendency to wear the same T-shirt for weeks on end and want to stay out late with the guys. What's a T-shirt? Eve said. Oh, never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself, God said. Well, it all sounds great, she said. And then God said, well, there is a catch, however. What's that? And she said, and God said, you'll have to let him think that he was here first. And then God said, but just remember, that'll be our little secret, just between us, you know, woman to woman. Oh, the Genesis account of creation. We're all familiar with that story in one form or another. And I find it fascinating that in every civilization and society, creation stories abound. Like from China, the creation story of the cosmic egg, and the Navajo tribe's creation story about the four worlds. There's a really intricate story from Japan about how the Earth's first emperor descended on the floating bridge from heaven to marry Princess Beautiful Blossoms. I had to rehearse that all week. Princess Beautiful Blossoms. Try to say that 3 times really fast. I wonder who's going to be cast as Princess Beautiful Blossoms in the movie version of that. But creation stories abound, flood stories abound, even Cinderella stories are found in many societies around the world that have been passed down through the generations. The names might change, the circumstances might change, but the underlying essence is always the same. Because disguised within these myths and legends and stories, we find elements of the spiritual path. They all point towards this great spiritual adventure journey we're taking. They all tell us about our story. So I want to ask you this morning, what is your story? If we made a movie about your life, we'll call it My Life and How I'm Living It, what kind of movie would it be? And more importantly, what role are you playing in this movie called Your Life? You know, we have the power to choose what role we play in our lives. And some people choose to play the role of the victim. The victim dwells in the realm of if only. That's where they're always at the hands of some external fate. That's where everything, all of life's experiences and events are done to them. And they hone in on playing this character to such a degree, really developing that character of being the victim, that they totally ignore their own capacity to change their situation. I'd call that a docudrama, and I do mean drama. But we could turn it all around and turn it into a great adventure flick and play the role of the hero. How does that sound to you? Playing the role of the hero. Well, back in 1949, the scholar and mythologist Joseph Campbell created, or I guess you could say referred to, this great spiritual adventure journey this movie that we're all participating in, as the hero's journey. You might be familiar with that. You can think of stories like the life of Moses, or the life of the Buddha, or the story of Jesus Christ as depicting the hero's journey. And in modern times, especially in the movies, you see the hero's journey a lot. Like in the movie The Lord of the Rings, or The Matrix, or Star Wars. Those all depict the hero's journey. And I wanted to talk to you this morning about the hero's journey, because you might be in a place where you're determining what role to play in your life, whether to play the role of the victim or the hero, or maybe you've taken a step towards taking the hero's journey in your life. I know that there are people in this audience who have been on the hero's journey for quite some time, and I want to reassure you and let you know that we at Unity Center of the Desert support you on that journey. And not only that, but that you have within you spiritual abilities, spiritual powers that can help you to be the hero in your own life story. And I want to talk with you about that this morning too. The hero's journey usually begins with the hero feeling somewhat uneasy or uncomfortable. Some kind of polarity is pulling them away from life as they know it. Or the hero might be feeling a call of some sort, a call to do something, a call to action. Or they might find themselves feeling a yearning deep inside, a yearning to be something or to have something more than they have. Well, maybe you can identify with that. Maybe there's something going on in your life right now that's making you feel kind of uneasy or uncomfortable. Or maybe you're hearing a call of some sort, or feeling a yearning for more in your life. Well, according to Joseph Campbell, the second part of the hero's journey, something happens to shake things up a bit. It might be an external pressure, or it might be something that rises up from within you, the hero. But something causes the hero to need to turn and face the beginnings of change. I don't know about you, but I can relate to that. When life just puts you on the road to adventure somehow, or the world changes for you for some reason, somehow, the death of a loved one, or the end of a career, or something like that, or you just end up going off in a totally different direction than you thought you were going to go in. Well, that's about the time when you might want to pull away or turn away from the hero's journey. Maybe because of a fear of the unknown, or maybe other people, those other characters in your movie, have voiced a concern about what lies ahead for you on your journey. But that's the time, with faith and inner strength, that wisdom shows up for you. In the hero's journey, the hero might come across a mentor or a seasoned traveler on the road of life that gives them some kind of special training, like kung fu or something, or maybe provides them with equipment like a magic talisman, or just simply gives them advice on their journey. But wisdom also might mean that the hero turns within and finds the wisdom and the courage to cross that threshold, to take a step forward, to venture into a new, unfamiliar experience or an environment. Well, it's the twists and the turns in the adventure that make it exciting, isn't it? And that's the time that you might find yourself, once you cross through that threshold, you might find yourself learning to navigate in this new experience of life. You might find yourself being tested, like Jonah in the belly of the whale. Or you might find yourself sorting out allegiances, finding who is supportive of you on that journey and who might not be so supportive. Like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. When she started down the yellow brick road, she encountered those who would be her friends and support her on her journey, and those who were trying to thwart her efforts. But your newfound allies might be in the physical realm. You might find a great group of friends. You might walk into a wonderful spiritual community like this one that holds you in the highest and believes in your excellence. Or you might find that your greatest allies are within you. But all this ordeal, what Joseph Campbell calls the road of trials, after all this, passing the tests and overcoming the obstacles and facing the challenges and gaining new allies and new friends, that's when the hero then takes possession of the treasure that they've won because they've faced all those obstacles. So taking the hero's journey, you begin to understand and reveal more about yourself. You're transformed. You realize that your life is greater now than it was than the life that you left behind. And that you yourself are greater than you ever thought you could be. Joseph Campbell says that the hero is the essence of who we are, apart from our personality traits and the drama that sometimes surrounds us. Charles Fillmore would probably call that our Christ nature. There's another interesting thing about those two men. Joseph Campbell got his inspiration for the hero's journey from the work of Carl Jung. Carl Jung studied all the world's great religions and myths and legends and found that there were certain archetypes that were common to them all. Carl Jung was a contemporary of Charles Fillmore, the founder of the Unity movement. Charles Fillmore also studied all the world's greatest religions, and he found that when Jesus took what could be called the ultimate hero's journey, that he had with him 12 spiritual powers or abilities at his disposal. We all have these 12 abilities. We use them all the time. But when we really harness their power, when we really master their positive potential, that's when they can help us to be the heroes in our own life story. The first spiritual power that you have in your arsenal is faith. Faith is simply spiritual confidence. The second spiritual power that is just ready for you to access and activate on the hero's journey is inner strength. Now, all heroes have strength, but we're not talking about physical strength. We're talking about an inner strength, like fortitude or perseverance. And you need inner strength to act on that faith. The third spiritual ability that you have to take with you on your hero's journey is wisdom. In the hero's journey, especially as depicted in the movies, wisdom shows up as the guidance from a wise mentor or counselor, like Merlin, or the fairy godmother, or Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Jiminy Cricket. But wisdom is also to be found within you. It's the still small voice within you. Wisdom goes beyond knowledge, and it finds a deeper meaning that resonates within you and helps you to move forward. The fourth spiritual power that you have is the power of love. And love is more than a happy ending to a fairy tale romance. Love is this harmonizing power that brings all the pieces together and holds all of it together. That's the power of love within you. The fifth power that you have within you that's waiting for you to access and to activate it is what we've been talking about this month, and it's called power. Now, we're not talking about physical power like holding something over someone. And we're not talking about political or economic power, like trying to control outer conditions. We're talking about an inner power, and you can think of it as self-mastery. You can think of it as what Yoda was trying to get across to Luke Skywalker, to harness the ultimate power and channel it through him, rather than trying to save or fix or change or control others or outcomes. That's the fifth power. The sixth power is imagination. That's where all creation begins, is imagination. That's where we dream and conceptualize and envision. Imagination is what helped the hero in the movie Life is Beautiful. Are you familiar with that movie, Life is Beautiful? We're going to show it at our Spiritual Film Festival. Life is Beautiful, the hero was the father, and imagination helped the father to keep the son free from fear while they were in a Nazi concentration camp. Imagination is what helped Tom Hanks' character in Castaway to create friendship, which helped him with the loneliness on a deserted island. That's imagination. The seventh power you have in your arsenal is the power of understanding. Understanding is having a deeper knowledge of life. You can think of it as the aha moment that some people refer to, when you can see and you can feel how everything is connected and how it's all working together, and that causes a shift in you. The eighth power is will. Will is acting on that understanding. It's saying yes to it. It's having the determination to cross that threshold and take a bold new step into a new world. The next power is the power of order. I would think that most of us here are at the place that at one time or another in our life that we realized that certain things had to be learned before a new venture could be attempted. Order is understanding the right sequencing of events and experiences in our lives and seeing how they've all come together and we've learned from them and they've prepared us to then take on a greater challenge. That's the power of order within you. The 10th power you have in your arsenal as you journey on this hero's journey is zeal. That's having enthusiasm and passion. It's having a childlike exuberance, a sense of wonder and enjoyment of this adventure called life. And the 11th power, it's embodied in Cat Summerchild. The 11th power is called release. It's interesting to think of release as a power, but it's a very powerful power. We have the power to release what no longer serves us. Like Apollo 13, when they had to release all the things that were holding them down. We have the power to release the past, knowing that it has no power over us, that our point of power is always in the present moment. We can release our grip and surrender to a higher power. The 12th spiritual ability that is within you, ready for you to access it and activate it on your hero's journey, is life itself. Life, all those life expressions like love and creativity and challenge and adventure, all of those things that make you feel alive, because life is all about breaking free and venturing into new territories. We all want to have a vibrant life, yes? We all want to have the feeling that we have a contribution to make in life, yes? We all want to know that our life has meaning and our life has purpose, yes? So I want to ask you, what is your story? And more than that, what role are you playing in your life story? Know that you're not the victim. You're the creator. You have the power to create your life. And not only that, you have some awesome spiritual powers and abilities in your arsenal that can help you to be the hero of your own life story. Are you ready to be the hero? I hope you are. And I bless each one of you on your journey. So it is. Okay.